Hey, what's going on? Nick Unsworth with Life on Fire, and I'm here with my man from down under, Anthony Amos.
Hello.
So I'm super fired up to have you here today because Anthony is going to share with us some incredible shark bites of wisdom about how to catch a shark and how to network and form joint venture alliances. You know, and so you've got a book coming out, right?
Yep.
How to Catch a Shark. And, you know, and tell us just briefly about like the concept of the book, and then we're going to dive back into your journey and then just talk about networking and joint ventures.
Sure. I think the biggest thing with the book is giving tools to people out there that are entrepreneurs that are working on partnerships, because I believe that there's partnerships and then there's the shark. Now, it doesn't have to be a Kevin Harrington, but someone in their industry that you really want to have a part of your business to take it from here to there. It's all about getting that next level outside of a partnership deal. Let's get the shark in your business.
Okay, so let's set some context, because we happen to be, can you guys guess where we are right now? We happen to be in Kevin Harrington's house. So Kevin Harrington's from Shark Tank. He's done over, what, I think $4 billion in sales from infomercials and direct response. And so he's an inventor. He's has quite a few different businesses, and it was one of the investors on Shark Tanks for, I think, 150 something episodes. 175 episodes. And so, you know, with Anthony referring to how to catch a shark, I mean, we're really talking about how to bring someone into a partnership or into a deal that has influence, so that if you or I are starting a business, I mean, it may take us X amount of years to get to where we want to go, and really you're shortcutting that whole process.
Absolutely.
By bringing in a shark. And that's exactly why we're here at Kevin Harrington's house, and he'll be on this virtual summit at a later date, so stay tuned for that. So, so tell us about your background and journey that kind of led you up to the point where you're now going out and catching sharks in business.
Where
did you start?
Well, I think everyone's going to relate to it, because obviously the Kevin Harringtons of the world are playing a very high game right now, and you know, I'm paving my way to be there as well, but it has to start out on some level. And just to sort of relay the message or the entrepreneurship that I went through, created a very large franchise system in Australia. It's called Hydro Dog. It's a mobile grooming business that Big Blue Dog goes to your home and washes and grooms your dog. We were very successful early on.
And when you say a big blue dog goes to your home and washes your dog, so paint that picture, because I heard it before we went on camera, and I'm like, wait, a big blue dog? I'm thinking of Clifford, the big red dog. Remember the books?
Yep.
So how does that happen, the blue dog?
Well, it's funny. I started my career playing professional football, and as an entrepreneur at that age, I struggled with being told what to do, and I really did want to start my own business. So I started my business with my brother, and we just started washing dogs, and it turned into this incredible franchise system. But what was happening, our competitors were catching up to us, and we needed to do something different in the marketplace. So we created a big fiberglass dog and put all of our tools and bath inside of it, and then we towed it around and took it to people's homes.
So this is, I mean, literally picture a humongous blue dog that is being towed behind a van or a car or a truck and showing up at, you know, someone's home, and it's just basically it's rolling marketing. It sounds like. That's
exactly right. We get to the market a lot faster because the kids see the dog and go, "Mum, Dad, we want that big blue dog.
We need a puppy now."
That's right. So great marketing tool.
Got to get a puppy to get washed by Hydro Dog.
Exactly. So we literally revolutionised the industry. We took it to, you know, another playing field, and we were very successful early on. We went through the rise of property and the rise of business, and you know, having a couple of hundred franchises as you know in our early 20s is a bit of a big deal. So like everybody, we went through the crash, and we sold Hydro Dog for a record sum. It's probably the most successful franchise that's actually been in Australia in its category. It's pretty exciting stuff. Yeah. And being young, you know, irresponsible guys, we sort of, you know, enjoyed those times. But we were in the middle of building $100 million Ramada resort. Big deal. Okay. So then the crash happened, and our funder went into liquidation and pretty much stripped us of everything. So I said to my wife, let's take Hydro Dog to America. So pretty much we packed ourselves up and came over here.
Does Hydro Dog float? I mean, I'm picturing Hydro Dog like doggy paddling to America.
I'd like to say we did, but no, we didn't. But I think all the strategies that came about that for me, looking back on where I am today, I mean, you've got to remember, I came here 3 years ago and knew zero people, zero, nobody.
Yeah.
And now we're in Kevin Harrington's house and he's one of my closest mates and we're in 7 different businesses together. That just doesn't happen for no reason. There's a strategy behind that as well.
And what I love about having you on the virtual summit is because, you know, we've got so many entrepreneurs that are coming to this and coming to us for tips and strategies. And I think what's going to be awesome about this is, I mean, this is really, you know, a session about networking and how to actually, you know, land that deal or catch the shark or network up. So going through that journey with HydroDog, I mean, what were some of the things that you did to lead you up to being able to network with Kevin Harrington and get to this point?
Well, I look at it like this. So the crash is still in everybody's mind because we're not the same people that we were. It doesn't matter who you were, you had some sort of correction.
Yeah.
And we hired all the expertise that we wanted. We had the money to hire everybody we wanted. We never ever did partnerships with anyone. We didn't have to. Then when it all turned upside down, the entrepreneurs went back to work because they're employable. Entrepreneurs are unemployable. So we had to then change our mindset and work out the new craft of the new age entrepreneur to survive.
Yeah.
And that to us was now creating partnerships with people. I've got a great idea. If you come in, I'll give you sweat equity. And if you come in, I'll give you sweat equity. Now you created a team with no employees. Everybody's got a piece of the action. So now we're all working together.
Vested to want to, you know, the thing to succeed.
That's right. And that's what really changed. We're now in a different era where people are very accepting of having partners in their organisations to grow fast and grow together.
Yeah.
But for me, it wasn't enough. It was great that I was able to create that, but I wasn't getting there fast enough. You know, I'm not here to, you know, take my time. I love America to death, I really, really do, but I want to be able to live both in Australia and America, so I want to create this. And then one day I was introduced to Kevin Harrington, and, you know, here we are today. But I do need to premise something that's really important about meeting somebody that influential of a Kevin Harrington in the world is you have to have an introduction by somebody that's worthy for them to take notice.
Sure.
It's very difficult just to knock on the door and say, "Hi, Anthony from Australia, could you be my friend?" It doesn't work like that because they've got brick wall after brick wall after brick wall because everybody wants a piece of what their expertise are.
Ride the coattails or to partner. You know.
That's right. So a very good friend of, well, I can't say he was at the time, but he became a very good friend. That was a very good friend of Kevin Harrington, introduced me to Kevin, and Kevin goes, "Oh my God, I've heard all about you, tell me more about this big blue dog." So that's how it all started.
And so I think something I'd love to drive home is the concept of how do you create value for a relationship like that? Because I feel like, you know, whether it's a Kevin Harrington or another shark from Shark Tank or any entrepreneur, it's, you know, when someone achieves success, I feel like a lot of people reach out to them and they're trying to ask or take. So how do you position yourself to make it so that they want to talk to you? You know, how do you position the value in their favor so that, you know, they respond or they say yes?
This is my personal sweet spot on what I believe I could write one sentence on how to catch a shark would be done.
Yeah.
It all boils down to one word, which is congruency. Everybody misses this true fact. So when you talk about it's all the 5 people that you hang around, you know, those people are a true reflection of who you are. Get in those top circle N friends. I mean, that's what everybody teaches you to do, right?
Yeah.
The number one thing that misses in that little saying or that little piece of influence is that imagine having 10 guys that all went to the football and loved the football, and you love hockey, but they're all great business guys, and you go there, you're really not going to fit in. You're going to be a part of it because they're all having fun and they're good guys, but you're not congruent because your sport is ice hockey and their sport's football.
Yeah.
So my attitude is you must be congruent with that person. So if you look at all those guys on Shark Tank, Kevin Harrington at the time was on Shark Tank.
Yeah.
I'm so congruent with Kevin, it's ridiculous. We've become really close mates because we're very similar in many ways that we are. Sometimes you don't even know what it is. There's this thing in here, like you and I are very congruent with each other. We don't really know why, but maybe it's because we're in business or our morals or values might align with each other. You just don't know. But when you're not, or you feel it big time, then what do people do? They need the money. So the gatekeeper that's not congruent with them, they go for the money, they get into a deal, it falls over, and I go, God damn it, I can't believe I was in business with that guy. You knew it before you even went into the deal.
That is such a good point. And so essentially, I mean, it's an intuition, or, you know, it's your congruency, and you can sense that. So you would say from intuition or maybe your gut feeling on like that partnership. Because I know for me, I've had a couple partners in my life that it was like I got into it because I saw like the grandiose vision of where it could go.
That's it.
And I thought about like the dollar signs, but I was like, there's something fishy about this woman, you know, and like and I just couldn't figure it out. But I was like, I'll go for it anyway, because I think the money kind of got me.
Right.
And sure enough, I mean, I got dropped on my head. I mean, I lost a ton of money with that deal and other deals. So really, there's a trusting of your gut to some degree, and trusting that congruency.
Well, it's bigger than I actually talk about this in the book, and I was uncomfortable when I first spoke about it because I never spoke about it before. But my publicist and dearest friend said, "You have to put this into the book," and it's a little bit strange, and I'll quickly share it without going into too much detail. But when I first met my wife, she was so intuitive, and she'd always say, "Not a good person, good person." How do you know? Like, how do you know that?
Yeah.
Then she had kids. Oh my God, it went through the roof. I'm thinking, geez, you could never have an affair on her. She knows every, like, everything. Oh my God, she's incredible. And I asked her, and I said, how does it feel to know that about people? She said, well, I can't explain it. I thought, well, that's not good enough to me. I want to know what that feels like. So I went around and I embarrassed myself. I put myself in uncompromising positions. I went all out. I wanted to know why someone felt that way, acted that way, and did that way. So all of a sudden I started to put these, here we go, imaginary baskets. And it started out with 4 personality types. So I'd speak to you today, understand you a little bit, then I'd meet somebody a month later and go, oh, 3 or 5% of you is in him, and I'd bring something up and go, how do you know that? I'm thinking, oh my God, this stuff really works. So I started to piece, and I ended up with 21 baskets over about a 20-year period.
Okay.
And most personalities have got a little piece that's a little bit the same, that you can actually jump into a conversation and start to talk about it.
Yeah.
And it just took me to the moon, because people are now engaged because I know a little bit about them that I should know about them, if that makes any sense.
All right, man. So tell me about the 21 baskets. So it sounds like, because I studied personal development like aggressively, and one of the things I've learned is different personality types. And when you understand and have an awareness of the different types, when I meet people, and let's say if someone rubs me the wrong way, it's like, oh, I can tell that they're just a certain personality type, and I know how to handle them better. And it sounds like with the 21 baskets, you have more intuition with them. So is that in the book, or like give us some examples of it?
Yeah, it's definitely in the book. I think the biggest thing for me is that over and over again, as you're saying, you can see the personality types, but it goes deep, because you go on the feeling and then you go on the actual information that you've already spoken to somebody that acts this way before. And it gives them a feeling. It's like when you talk about someone's name and you reference their name. They go, he's taken the interest in my name. It's a little bit like that. Okay. So it's more of a personal feeling, and then you can feel whether that congruency flows. So my strategy boils down to this. I have to be congruent with somebody first. Yeah. Kevin. The second thing is I have to add as much value as I can first. Now, that's probably the grey area of what is the value that you bring to the table.
Sure.
Is it connecting them to somebody? Is it bringing them into one of your companies? It has to be more than just the general process, because when you do that, then they give the value back to you. So stage 2 is adding the value first. When the value comes back, you either become really good friends or you become business partners. That's generally what happens after that second stage. Let's be hypothetical and say you become great business partners.
Sure.
The third thing is when you get out of bed in the morning and go, oh my God, I can't believe he's in my company, and you can't wait to have coffee or lunch or whatever, that's when you know you've nailed it. That's when you know that it's done, because when you go through the tough times, that's when the relationship with the congruency is really important.
Right.
In the fun times, it's great.
It's easy.
But when it's tough.
It's always easy when you're making money,
I know.
When it gets tough. But what I love too is that it sounds like when you, seek out the right folks to work with, or joint ventures or business partners, add value first, and then bring them into the business, or, do a deal together. It sounds like when you have that congruency, it sounds like it's a lot more fun to work with them.
Yeah, it is.
And I think with Life on Fire, I mean, that's a lot of what the goal is, to enjoy the journey every single day.
Right.
And, there was a time in my life, and for a lot of entrepreneurs, where it's like, oh, we're just going to wait. We'll be happy when we retire. We'll be happy, when we, my whole silly thing was, I was like, I'll be happy after I sell a business by 30. And then I did, and I'm like, well, this is not what I thought, and so.
It's spot on.
Yeah. And so to really love who you work with, and I think that's an awesome takeaway that I'm pulling out of this from the congruency, is that just changes every day. It's like you said, you were excited to get up this morning and to come hang out here.
Absolutely.
Because with Kevin and, we had a call and we were congruent. So yeah. I think ultimately it boils down to, you've really got to make sure that you choose your partners wisely and add value for the right people. And it's like, I'm always thinking like network up, and identify the right people that you do have the congruency with.
Right.
And then it's like, add value for them. Can you connect them with someone? Can you, offer them a business deal? With Kevin, I got a similar introduction to Kevin, and I'm like, I literally said to him, I said, you know what? I just want to make you proud, man. I want to do something awesome. I'm going to, virtual summit, because you can't just, have Kevin on, something like this and give your time. It's like, I want you guys to be tweeting about Anthony. I want you guys to, grab his book that's coming out, because you're creating awesome content for you, and, there's a value exchange.
Yeah.
So it's like, I want to, we're running lots of ads. I want to make this worth it for you and for Kevin, the same thing. And we're doing a product together, and, hey, if the first, X amount of dollars, 100% of that goes to Kevin, it's worth it, because that adds value first. It's like to your point of how do you structure it so that it's a huge win for the other person.
They have to come first.
Yeah.
Because it's what you're doing with me. You're actually doing my methodology to me. And I feel so good about it. I feel great that you're actually adding all this value first. It does feel good.
Yeah.
And I know that when you pick out a shark, just like Kevin, for example, and the congruency and all of that adding value first, you feel good that you've given them the value.
Yeah.
Because let's just say he was one of the other sharks, okay, that I'm definitely not congruent with, but I still got that shark. I would feel like an employee. Like, even if you talk about the other Kevin, like the guy that's the real hard-nosed money
Mr.
guy.
Wonderful.
Yeah, like, he's obviously
always has the royalty deals.
Yeah, always the royalty deals. Yeah, but I would know that if I was his partner, that I would probably feel like I was an employee in his business, and that's okay, because he's congruent with somebody else, but not with me. Not saying he's not a nice person, but I just know that when you do that, I look for easiness. And I know this sounds like a cliche and doesn't make a lot of sense, but just last night when we were brainstorming with our publicist and a friend that came in and another business colleague, everybody was congruent, and it was just so easy. There was no one had to sort of try and play a game or try and use mixed words. It was just so awesome and easy.
Yeah. And what I love is, we talk about networking a lot, and what this really drives home is that, trusting your gut and having the intuition to work with people that you want to work with, that have that congruency. And I think that, what I also wanted to do is just highlight and see, for someone that doesn't have the big idea yet, or someone that is aspiring or building out, for being a guy that's built and sold and then got back into a huge franchise, what do you recommend for someone that's still pounding the pavement? They're still, let's first go with someone that's still trying to think of their big idea, and what would you recommend for someone that's trying to, maybe they're trying to leave their job, or maybe they're just getting started, and it could be from a networking perspective, or, what would you say to get going?
You've just got to get it to market. Too many people want to get the product or the business model right before they get it to market. Get it to market, find the mistakes, the flaws, and change it while it's in the market. Because I think there's this misconception that you've got this new beaut idea that no one else has ever got before, and if you get it out, everyone's going to see it and they're going to copy it.
Yeah.
No one's going to put in the effort and the energy that you're going to, because it's yours.
Yeah.
The people that are still in the job, don't fire yourself and get out of there and just put it all in. Make sure you've still got your income that's coming in to help you get there. Don't be shy to just get it to market and fix it as you go along.
That's huge, because it's I feel like a lot of times entrepreneurs will take and they'll just think about their idea and think and plan, but that doesn't make any money, and it doesn't validate anything. It doesn't test anything. And it's like, if you just, like you said, just get it to market, then at least you can work out the bugs. You can figure out what they like and don't like. So it's like imperfect action. You can just get it out there.
My God, that's absolutely correct.
Imperfect action, just get it done. And so what about someone that, let's just say if we've got, an entrepreneur that they've got their product to market, but they're not where they want to be with revenues, and they're still pushing the boulder up the hill. What's your advice for someone in that situation?
You've got to understand what your strengths are, and you can sort of look back in the history of what you've been able to do to get to where you are today. You've got 100% of your company. Just keep 51. Work out the documents. You've always got the right, the say, in control.
Yeah.
But get that other percentage out there working for you. I mean, how greedy do you think you need to be when you sell your company? If you could bring in 5 other people of expertise in the areas that you just can't stand doing in your business, Give them sweat equity. Bring them in, create the team. You're still going to be the owner of the company and grow your business faster. Then, once you've done that, you've leveraged your time. Now it's time to find your shark. So you get your business model sorted. Everybody's passionately engaged just like you are. Now it's your job to show all these guys how awesome you are by bringing in a Kevin Harrington or bringing in somebody that's the number one in real estate, whatever that is. Give them some equity. Always keep a nice little piece and say all you have to do is just be on the board, give us some advice and get us in the media and give them equity.
So this is huge. This is really big. So basically, you know, that's so interesting because your equity, it's not doing anything for you if you're taking it all yourself. And I feel like, you know, if you've got the abundance mentality of that, you know, that you can leverage that equity. So it sounds like it's like find a key person that does things better than you in certain areas of the business. Maybe they get 10%, so they're vested. And the nice thing, it sounds like if you do that, you don't have to necessarily pay them a big salary if they're invested in equity, right? So you're able to keep your expenses low and just leverage that equity, right?
Absolutely. Okay. I mean, Kevin and I started off with one business. You know, I was working out before this interview on how many have we got in the pipeline, how many's working. We're in 7 businesses now, and 3 of them are just monsters once they get to where they need to get to. And that's only happened because of what I've been able to show I can do and who I've got involved in the team. Kevin will never get involved in anything with me if I've got some people that are just, you know, hang-oners or aren't putting any effort in. But when it's all about the team. When people say, and I'm investing, like Anthony investing now as well, is that it's not about the product to me, it's about the person. If I love that person and know that they're going to wake up every day and do whatever they can to make it work, and their product marries that person once I go past whoever that is, I'm in, baby. I'm so far in because I know what it takes to get to the next level. It's people first for me.
That's huge. It's like betting on the jockey, not the horse.
Yes, that's right.
When I sold my little company before, that was the thing. I mean, they were betting on me. I mean, they knew my hustle and you know, so betting on the jockey. So this for me is a big one because I had a viewpoint. I had a couple bad mistakes with partnerships, and so I ended up saying like I'll never have a partner again, which is crazy. I mean, and this is totally reshaping that because there's things that I'm not good at in the business that I don't want to do. It's running the business. I mean, I've got, you know, a chief operating officer, but there's still things I'm still so tied to. And it's like if I, you know, were to part with some equity and be able to leverage bigger and better, I mean, how much faster would this grow? You know, if I had a partner and I had a shark as, what I love is if you can leverage, to your point, if you can leverage your time and your skills, bring on a couple partners and grow the business faster, and then bring on a shark that has connections, media connections, like you said, can make one phone call. And so
he's unbelievable. Kevin will sit there and say, listen, we really need to get to a guy that can do this, do that. Oh, hold on a second. He sits back and he holds down his phone and he goes, all right, bring that guy out. What's that say? Does it say George? Yeah, it's George. Yeah, bring him and tell him you were talking to me.
All right, so the playbook is, you know, get your concept to market off the ground. If we do like a recap, you know, it's get your concept off the ground, get it to market, refine as fast as you can, add value for other people, and like figure out who would be a congruent partner to help do the things you don't want to do. Then from there, build your team, take the equity and chunk it off to the right people. And then once you've got a nice business going, take that and go out and essentially pitch it to a shark.
Absolutely.
Now, how do you first get in to add to the shark? How do you physically, because you figure they're getting pitched every day.
It really does boil down to the introduction, and if we've got time, I'll quickly share the story with you because it's a little bit out there. But sometimes I teach my kids every day that any environment that you're in, you've got to do the opposite to everybody else. That is truly the secret to my success today, is that I do the complete opposite. Sometimes it's probably the thing I shouldn't be doing that's opposite, but it gets noticed, and you know, I'm always apologetic, and you know, I never do it again if I'm, you know, wrong. So we were at a mastermind, and this guy that was there, that was a friend of Kevin's, I didn't know at the time, and big player. The other 9 of us were sort of, you know, finding ourselves again, and you know, because as I said, we all went through the crash. I'm here in America, and I want to network and find the right people. So we're all sitting down, and he comes in late. He's sort of very much like, you know, thought he was better than all of us, and he should be, because this guy's like one of those guys. Anyway, by the end of the night, we all had a few drinks, and it's a 28,000 square foot mansion, beautiful environment, And I ended up wrestling this guy on the ground, choking. He's got his finger, he's fish hooking me in the mouth. And everyone's sort of standing around, and I sort of dominate a little bit, and then Rachel's going, "You've got to let him win." I'm thinking, okay, can you let him on top? And then I sort of finished the winner, right?
Yeah.
And went to bed. In the morning, Rachel, that's my beautiful wife, she says, "So you remember what happened last night, right? Remember the wrestling?" "Yeah, about wrestling." "Oh, God," she said, "I think you've blown it. I think you've completely blown it. I've never been more embarrassed. I just can't believe that you would do that in this environment." I thought, okay. Well, I mean, Australians sort of behave like that. Not overall, but they're fun. And it was fun. It was nothing. It wasn't serious. It wasn't a fight. So anyway, I'm the last one to get down to the room. This guy had everybody he was like the teacher, and they were all just sitting around listening to his wisdom.
Yeah.
I pushed the kitchen door open, and he goes, and they all look back like that. And they go, "Oh, morning, hi." And I saw him go, "Okay, just, wait here for a second. Anthony, come over here for a second." I honestly felt like a student going to the principal of the school. That's I truly, like, he's 60 and, I'm 40, I'm thinking.
And you had him in a headlock.
I had him in a headlock the night before. This is the guy that's the billionaire guy. So we go and sit down, and we're this close from each other, and he says, "Thank you so much for last night." "What?" "Thank you so much. You made me feel normal. You showed everybody that I'm just like them. And I didn't know how to break into that, and all of them, they want a piece of me. Thank you. I can't thank you enough." "No, well, that's just what I normally do. That's the type of stuff that I,
like no sweat, man.
Oh my God, I'm sitting there going, holy shit, I can't believe this actually, has transpired this way.
Yeah.
So he's best friends with Kevin, grew up in their 30s. They've known each other for 30 years.
Yeah.
And he tells Kevin all about me, how awesome I am. So then I go up to an event that Kevin's still on Shark Tank doing this event. He comes over here. I swear to God, I had a lineup of people around the corner, and this guy goes over and says, "Kevin, Anthony's here." Comes over. "I'm going to have dinner with you tonight. I've heard all about you." And that's completely how the whole thing
That's awesome.
started.
And you know what? So like what my takeaways are is I feel like in a networking environment, it's like just truly being you, and it's
oh my God, I can't believe that you're tapping into that.
It's like, the guy that bought my business was my first 5-figure client with that business, 6-figure client, and him and I have a love for Bud Lights. And at the end, and I put myself in a position. I went to a mastermind event, and I put myself in a position to meet a guy like that, and we drank beers once a quarter, and we always closed the bar, and we built a friendship. And it's like, people want to do business with people that they like to hang out with. I'd love to get a headlock later today. My neck.
Maybe tonight. But it's so true, the authenticity of your personality is the creation of everything you want it to be. I swear to you that I say to my kids, we do a beautiful mantra before school every day. And the biggest one that we finish on is that you have to be yourself because everyone else is taken. You've got to be you. You have to be authentic. And the people that don't like that authenticness, if there's such a word, they're the ones you really don't want in your life anyway.
Yeah.
So it's their fault. And you know what? If you've upset them, apologise and never do it again. That's sort of my rule, is that normally after every time I have a few beers, I do have to apologise, but I promise I'll never, do that particular thing that way.
It sounds like we might need to follow you around after tonight.
Now, that'd be interesting.
So I think just to wrap things up, one other thing I'm just taking out of this is that if you follow your strategies, you add value for other people, network, take your equity and let your equity work for you. That is a huge takeaway that I have here today, because, and that's something that I was allowing my past experiences to stop that thought and say, I will never give away any equity, but I can keep the 51. You can keep the 51 and let it work for you. And I'm already, I hate to say it, I'm like 100%, but it's like in the back of my mind, it's like, man, what if I had a board? Like, what could I do? Yeah. Like, it literally just opened up so many possibilities in my mind because I had shut it off.
Yeah.
And so I want to encourage you, like, can you start your business and how can you leverage that equity to work for you, like Anthony has? And then to catch the shark, it's how do you put yourself in the right position for the intro? So, yeah, you can reach out and be a cold call, but I look at, with Damon John, I met him by investing $25,000 to go to Joe Polish's network. I didn't have $25,000 when I got started, but I went to an event. It's, can you pay to go to an event? Put yourself in a position to network and meet people if you're starting from ground zero.
Yes.
As you grow, it's like you can pay for access. I mean, anyone that wants to meet, these guys, Kevin spoke at that event. You paid the money, boom, you're now in the same environment. You can shake their hand. So that's a fast track. So what I'd love to do is, and like I said, I want to add value. Let's all, Anthony, as you guys can tell, is just a ball of fire. He's a walking example of what a life on fire looks like. I can't wait for a headlock later, and we might raffle off headlocks. So what I would love everyone to do is, below this video on the event page, for everyone to just grab your contact info. So what's the best way for folks to reach you? And let's go with your URL. Like Twitter is a place where you hang out.
I've got a website which is the Anthony Amos. Now it does sound a little bit arrogant, but AnthonyAmos.com is taken. So I'm writing on that. But yeah, there's a form there just if you want to get in touch. I'm very personable, and I really do like to try and do what I can to help people with my time. So yeah, just get on that website, theanthonyamos.com, and just contact me and we can see where it goes from there.
Talk about a generous offer right there. It's all about connections, and here's a guy that's you are in that power position that folks need to network to get to. So
the best part about this is people that are watching it right now. Some people are going to go, "Oh my God, he would be a nightmare. He actually worries me." That's okay. That means we're not congruent.
Yeah.
Some people are going to go, "Oh, I can't wait to meet someone that means we're congruent." So anyone that feels that, then you reach out to me. You never know where that sort of stuff could go.
Cool. And then so the AnthonyAmos.com, and also in the book will be coming out, and the book will be on the website too.
Yes, that'll be out in a couple of weeks. It's called How to Catch a Shark. There's going to be obviously a separate website, but there'll be a link from my website to that as well. I'm really looking forward to that. That's a new transition for me of getting out my message to people. So awesome. I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, me too. Well, I'll be one of the first people to read it as soon as it comes out. So, and by the time this airs, it will be out. So grab a copy of How to Catch a Shark, and this was a lot of fun. If you need me, I'm going to go in the back and see what I used to wrestle. So I think we'll see how if I can hang a little bit. So I'll try not to get pinned in at least 10 seconds. Well, awesome, man. Thanks so much for everything today. We'll catch up with you guys on the next episode of Life on Fire Virtual Summit. We'll see you guys.
Thank you.